All right, guys, so are you all ready? So we're gonna get started with our webinar. First of all, I just wanted to thank you all for taking the time and joining us on this webinar, in which we'll be talking about practical tips to get your property ready for post-COVID-19, which we're trying to educate and give enough tips to customers and non-customers so we can all get over COVID-19 and ready to rock. So on this webinar, my name is Cicero Guimarães, Head of Sales for New Zealand at STAAH, and joining, and I've got Arnold, who is our partner service team leader, joining me in this webinar. This webinar should take around between approximately about 40 minutes, and at the end, you'll be able to ask questions. So a little housekeeping for all of us. So we would love to you guys to keep yourselves muted during the presentation and keep your questions for the end so we can run the webinar smoothly. Please post your comments and questions via the chat feature we should see on your screen. As I said, we'll have time to answer questions. And close all your tabs on your browser so the software can run smoothly. A little agenda here. What we'll be talking about is obviously as the topic of the webinar. So we'll be giving you tips how to keep to get your property ready for post and COVID-19. Things to action on your channel manager. Okay, features to look for so you can have a better results on your strategy. Work on your booking engine, okay, which is quite important to get your booking engine updated. Ways to target your customers moving forward, and make your direct conversion strong post COVID-19. A little bit of ourselves. So my name is Cicero, as I said before, and I'm head of sales of STAAH here in New Zealand. I'm from a hotel background, so I've worked in hotels for several years here in New Zealand, and OTA as well prior to STAAH. So I understand what you guys are going through at the moment. I'll let Arnold introduce himself.
Hi everyone, this is Arnold here. I have worked in hotels previously in New Zealand and a little bit back at home in India. I have been with STAAH for about just about a year now, and I've taken up the team leader position. So it's been great since then. So I hope in today's session we'll be able to give you some good tips which y'all can use over time.
Great. Thanks, Arnold. And just a little bit about STAAH. So STAAH, we are about 12 years old, with several offices worldwide, and we are a New Zealand-based company. That's where our head office is in Auckland, and we do work with just over 10,000 properties worldwide. And these OTAs, these partners that you see down here on your screen, are the partners that we actually prefer channel manager. There's a little bit of our ecosystem, so how our channel manager integrates with different online solutions in the market. Okay, you all will receive a copy of the slides and the recording of this webinar, so you can check it out and see how we integrate, how we connect. I'll pass it on to Arnold so he can start his presentation. It's all yours, Arnold.
Yeah, thanks, Cicero. All right, everyone. So today I'll start off with some practical tips on the online distribution system through the STAAH Channel Manager. So I'll be speaking. The first thing that I'll speak about would be the availability tab. Thanks, Cicero. So can we just go one slide behind Cicero, please? Yeah, so in terms of availability, most of us would have put our availability down to 0 during the lockdown period because we did not want to sell any rooms for the entire month of April, and even a little further than that until we went down to level 1 and 2. So probably now is the good time to actually put back your availability and also take in account future events. Like, for example, in Australia, you would have the T20 Cricket World Cup happening later on in the year. In 2020, in New Zealand, next year we would be having, in March, we would be having the America's Cup. So possibly some properties, some of you hold back some rooms so that you can sell them a little later. So it's good to take into account these major events that we may have later on, and then put the availability back into STAAH. Next. So to update your availability in STAAH, you just basically need to log into your channel manager, go into your availability tab, put in what rooms are available for the specific period, and then you need to click update. Now, these updates will be sent out to all your OTAs, the online travel agents, including your website. So yeah, that's how you would put in your availability. If you are managing your availability from your property management system, you will need to load in your availability from the PMS. You can't do it manually from STAAH. All right. Next, we'll speak about restrictions. Before lockdown or during lockdown, if you hadn't put your availability to 0, you probably applied stop sales or you applied minimum night restrictions, so that people couldn't book for a certain period, and maybe minimum night restrictions because you wanted them to book for probably 7 nights minimum or 14 nights minimum or even more than that. So now is a good time to check restrictions, remove the stop sales out for the days that you're wanting to sell, and also reduce the minimum night stays. Otherwise, I mean, if this is not looked at, what will happen is you will not receive any bookings, or you'll receive bookings only for a larger period and not for 1 and 2 days and so on. So to update restrictions in STAAH, you need to go into your rates tab. Under there, you'll see stop sales, which are the orange boxes that you can see out here, and you'll see the minimum night restrictions. All you need to do is basically just remove that from the system, and you need to click update, and that will get sent out to all your online travel agents and also your own website, the STAAH booking engine. In case if you are managing your restrictions from the property management system, this will have to be updated from the PMS itself. It can't be done manually from STAAH. Okay. The next thing I'll be speaking about would be your rates. This is one of the most important things that we need to set up here is your rates, because we possibly quite a lot of properties did lower their rates to get in those last minute bookings through the systems, so that you could have a few rooms occupied during the lockdown period. So now is a good time to check your rates, update your rates, so that it gets pushed out to all the OTAs and your own website. When updating rates, probably it is a good thing to look at what your competitors are basing their rates on. So probably do market research and just see what rates are going around in your particular vicinity, and then you can base your rates on that. Also keep in mind the market conditions. So like, what sort of travelers are you trying to get to your property? What sort of flights are actually arriving at your property, in your city. So you can base your pricing on all these different factors. So to update your rates in STAAH, all you need to do is you need to go into your rates tab once again, which you would probably already be in if you were updating your restrictions. Find the specific room type or the channel you're wanting to update the rates for, the rate plan, and just put in the rate in the box, and you need to click update. That gets sent out to all the online travel agents, including your own website. Now, if you are managing your rates from your property management system, you will have to update those rates from the PMS itself. That will get sent out to STAAH, and then STAAH will push that out to all the OTAs. Also, an added feature, being a preferred partner, we have another feature called the OTA promotion tab in STAAH. What you can actually do from here is create a promotion for you can create a promotion in STAAH for booking.com, and these promotions can be in things like a specific region that they're booking from, like let's say Australia or New Zealand, or it could be a last minute deal, an advance purchase deal, and so on. So you can create these promotions right from STAAH itself, and STAAH will push this out to booking.com straight away. Okay. These were some tips that I had to speak about. I wanted to speak about for all channels and your website. The next part that I'll be speaking specifically for your booking engine. So whatever I speak from now onwards will mainly be for your booking engine. That's the STAAH booking site that's on your website. So the first thing that we have would be the descriptions, also facilities at the same time. So this is a good time to check what your profile description or your property description has been set up for the booking engine, what your room type descriptions are. Probably a good time to note down certain, maybe you may have certain areas that have been closed out because of the virus or anything. So you can make a note of that in your description part, in your profile description or a specific room description. In terms of descriptions, if you need to update it in STAAH, all you need to do is you need to go into your profile section. So that's under your settings tab. So can we just go next, please? Yeah, thank you. So you need to go into your settings tab. You go under profile, update your profile information or your profile description and facilities. If you need to update a specific room types description, you need to go into your settings, again, room types, and update the description for the specific room types. So this is just some examples of what it would look like when on the booking engine. So the next one that I have would be images. So we already have quite a few images loaded in STAAH. So probably a good time to just see whether you're happy with the images that you have loaded in. You want to probably remove the old images out and get some new images in there that you may have clicked during the lockdown period if you had a chance. What we do recommend is having at least 3 to 4 room type images in the system. Probably if you have too many of them, a guest probably wouldn't scroll through all of them. So probably 3-4 images is a good number to start off with. With profile images, again, 3 to 4 images would be good enough. We also do recommend adding in maybe some cleaning images that your housekeeping staff is doing. So this could be like an additional image that you can add into these sections to show that this is what we're actually cleaning in the room areas, and this is what we're doing to sanitize the public areas and so on. So you can include images of your housekeeping staff cleaning, doing something different compared to what they actually do on a regular basis. The next one would be what you need to, with images, if you need to update images, you need to go into your settings tab. If you're updating your property images, you need to click on profile and update your images out there. If you need to update your images for any specific room type, you need to click on room type, and then it'll go, and then you go and update your images right from there itself. Just one thing to remember when you're updating images, recommended sizes are given out there for every image type in blue. And the images also need to be, the file size of every image needs to be less than 1 MB. So anything larger than that probably will have to be resized. So the next thing that I want to speak about would as your property already has terms and conditions and payment terms set up, to review this and make it probably a little more approachable for the guest, so you can make terms and conditions a little more lenient rather than having them very stringent and with policies and stuff. So in terms of your terms and conditions and payment terms, if this needs to be updated, you go into you log into STAAH and you go and click on Convert Direct. So can we head to the next slide, please? Yeah, thank you. So you click on Convert Direct, you hit on Terms and Conditions, and then you have the tab called Payment Terms and Terms and Conditions right out there. And once you hit Save, this gets pushed out to your own website. We also recommend you terms and conditions for and payment terms for all of your other OTAs like Booking.com and Airbnb and stuff. In case if that hadn't changed, you just need to go to the websites to the OTAs and update it right out there in case if any changes have to be made. The next thing that I'll speak about would be the cancellation policy. So probably not the best time. I'm not sure. I mean, most of y'all would have thought about it. It's not the best time to have a non-refundable policy right now because properties are trying to, guests are trying to, are seeing for more flexibility because we are not sure on the current scenarios. We don't know whether flights are going to take off from the country, whether they're going to be allowed in the country. So probably best to have a flexible rate plan rather than a non-refundable, so that the guest can cancel at any point of time. Probably 2 days until you last minute, but it again depends on a case-to-case basis. So you can review this in STAAH this settings tab. So you will have cancellation policy. You set up your cancellation policy out there, and then you assign it to your respective rates for any other channel like Booking.com, Airbnb, Expedia, and so on into these channels, and you'll need to just check what the cancellation policies are set up out there as. The next thing is these would be additional extras or add-ons that you create to sell over and above. Right? Now, one of the reasons you want to do this is so that it is sort of an additional revenue stream coming to your property. Already, and also the guest. For example, we've set up these breakfast options, and instead of the guest going out and searching for a restaurant that may be open, which he doesn't know how safe it is out there, breakfast for whatever price it is, and he can have that in his room, or he can carry it to his office or wherever he likes. And plus you can this is an additional revenue stream for your property. So something it is probably a good thing to look at to add to create packages or rate plans that you have created for on STAAH. So when you create the add-on, this will be pushed out to your booking engine. If you need to create this add-on option on a specific channel, like a specific OTA, online travel agent, you need to do that from the channel itself. So for STAAH, if you need to create an add-on, you just again click on Convert Direct, you click on Extras, click on Add Extras, and then it'll give you a few fields that you can put in the add-ons for. And that's how you create an add-on for your booking engine. Cool. Next. Next is email confirmations. So you would be aware that our email confirmations are templated, but we still do give you the opportunity to add in a header and a footer into the to add in specific statements or one-liners or a para at the top and at the bottom of your booking engine of the email confirmation that goes out to the guest. Now, if you need to, so what we generally advise is, as of now, it is probably good to put in your specific sanitation policies or what you're doing over and above the normal cleaning standards in the guest rooms or in the guest areas, so that this gives a peace of mind to the guest, so that he knows that, okay, yeah, you're taking the adequate measures before their arrival. So you can put these one-liners in there, or you can put in maybe a little bit more than one line, and you can send that out to every email. You can send it in every email confirmation that goes out to the guest. Now, again, this is an example of a booking which was made through your website. So we only send email confirmations to guests when a booking is made via your STAAH booking engine. If you'll need to check with the OTAs if they can add in any specific fields on there in terms of these one-liners if required. And it also is just trying what you're trying to do with this part, or with this confirmation and this one-liner, is that you're trying to build a little bit of trust with the guest. So in order for you to create the email to add the header for the email confirmation, you again just need to head into your settings tab in STAAH. You click on profile, and you will see an option called email header for booking confirmation. So this is where you add in that text. This will be visible on the email that goes out to the guest, and also on the confirmation page after they put in their credit card details and click submit. Okay. The next thing would be the reporting. I guess as of now, this would probably be the most important part of the entire process of getting back online, is looking at the booking engine funnel. So this funnel is available under the reporting tab or the channel insights tab. It is available, and it's a free tool to use for all properties subscribed to the channel manager. So what you can see is how many people are actually, what sort of traffic is coming to your property, to your website, and what percentage is actually getting converted into confirmed reservations. So you can see that in this funnel when you go into your channel insights and booking engine analytics tab. What you will also be interested in looking at is where your traffic is coming from, whether it is coming in from New Zealand or Australia. So you can base your deals and your smart pricing deals and your watch my rate deals on this certain criteria, or you can create deals specifically for those regions. Also, what I would recommend is looking at your channel insights. So this should be an overview of the total number of nights you've received, booking total number of nights or revenue received from specific channels, and you can compare that to the previous year. If you're with STAAH for over a year, you can compare that to the previous year, and then you can see what you're doing now, and then you can sort of adjust your rates and stuff based on that. So yeah, that's with reporting. And the last thing is just like a bonus tip that we had in place was your promo codes. I guess an important tool right now. So this could be this promo code can be created, and you can have it advertised on Instagram and Facebook. So you can do advertisements on there, and then what happens is the guests can come to your website, use that promo code, and book a room. So they get the discount, and then you can see what sort of how many bookings are actually made using that promo code. And with that, you can see the return on investment you've received. So if you have paid $20 for the advertisement, but you've received $2,000 worth of bookings for using that promo code, I guess you've already made your return on investment in that case. So you can have a book now button, which is linked to the booking engine, the STAAH booking engine, put on the advertisement if you like, so that people do not go anywhere else. They just directly come to your website, and the booking gets converted to a confirmed booking. So that is all with my tips for today. So just a summary in terms of online distribution to all OTAs and including your website. I spoke about availability, I spoke about restrictions, and I spoke about rates. So this is something you want to take a look at the latest probably now. The next thing what I spoke about for the booking engine specifically would be descriptions, images, terms and conditions or payment terms, your cancellation policies, your value-added services, email confirmations, and reporting. Now, the booking engine part of it, this I specifically spoke for the STAAH booking engine, but you can get this and do the same thing for the OTAs also if required individually. So I hope you found my tips. I hope you found this session quite interesting and you take most of my tips into play. And thanks for your patience. Now I'll hand over the session to Cicero, and he'll speak a little bit more about direct bookings.
All right, thanks, Arnold. All right, guys. So what I will be talking about is a little bit about your online distribution and how to prepare get your strategy ready. Well, the first thing that I would like to take you guys through is your booking engine, okay? How to look at your channel manager and get your online distribution ready. So the first thing that I would say is ensure that your booking engine's updated, okay? Get your packages, your offers, your rate plans ready. See what would work for the new customers coming to your property. Get your photos updated, and as I said on a previous webinar, is make sure that your photos are telling a story to your customers, so they can see themselves staying at your property and experience with you. Also, try to check if your booking engine is mobile responsive. That's really very important. 70% of your online bookings nowadays are coming through mobile devices, okay? Ensure your new terms and conditions are clear. If you can make in bullet points, not much writing, so the customers can read, understand, and accept it. Test your booking engine as you are customer, as I've said before. I always go back to the same point. Test it, compare with your competitors, and make your decision whether you need a new booking engine, if you're happy with it, or if a new booking engine just needs some updates. So the next step that I would like to take you through is leverage your OTA and Google Traffic. Okay, it's impressive how much traffic you get through those channels in your OTA. So as many OTAs you connected to, the better, even if you're not producing it. Okay, the reason for that is because they will still, even if you're not getting any bookings from the OTA, you're still getting the online exposure, you're still getting the free marketing, and that will potentially be sending traffic to your website. Okay, also, as we know, Google is very important. How can you leverage that? So when the customers come to your website to search for a room, for accommodation, obviously they're doing the shop around, they will bounce back to the OTA. How can you do that? How can you avoid or minimize the bounce back? So adding smart features to your website. So on this case, on this photo, for our STAAH customers, you can see that they can have something called Watch My Rate, which will allow the property to compare their own rates with the OTAs. And pretty much what you're saying here is you're telling your customer that if they book direct, they'll get a better deal. Okay, so they'll click on the book, the little book button there, and it will take the customers to the booking engine. So that's one way how you can leverage the traffic and maximize your direct bookings. So also show your customers the value of booking direct. Okay, so as Arnold was mentioning, showing you guys how to add some add-ons to your rooms. It will help you not having to drop your rates as much, dropping your ADR. So if you add value to your rate, that will attract the customers to booking more direct with you. And they will also obviously help you reduce the money the commission that you pay to the OTAs, and obviously increase your revenue per room night. One thing that I think that is quite important is when you must be able to replicate your OTA promotions on your brand brand.com website. Okay, so if you're adding mobile phone promotions on OTA, if you're adding stage show and save, if you're targeting different countries, if you're adding last deal promotions, if you're adding advanced purchase or multi-nines, you must be able to add that to your website through your channel manager. Okay, we have a feature called smart pricing on STAAH, and that is pretty much just to enable our customers to add promotions. Not a rate plan, you don't need to add a rate plan, it becomes as a promotion. As you can see in the picture, you can see the extra, the original rate crossed out and the extra rate down below and highlighted what the after the discount. In some cases, you will also see the red flag next to the photo saying there's 10-15% off, just how you see it on the OTA. So you should be able to translate your booking engine as a proper sales tool and replicate that from the online travel agents. Another thing that I would like to take you through is manage your inventory smartly. Okay, so you should be able to manage your inventory in a way that you can convert more direct bookings. Okay, so how can you do that? So there are two little features that are quite important. One is a stop sell limit, which is a completely different stop sell. So you should be able to look at your inventory, look at your all the segments that you're selling at you sell at your property. Look at your market mix and say, for my online bookings, I would like to sell these many rooms per night. So that's how you set or use stop sell limit. So you can actually specify how many rooms you want to sell per night on the OTAs. So when the channel manager recognizes that you've hit that number, all the OTAs are automatically closed out and only your website will be selling, which will be helping you converting more direct bookings and paying less commission. Drip feed will help you sort of bringing traffic from the OTA to your website. So basically what it does is you can push a certain number of your inventory to the OTAs. For example, if tomorrow on the 15th of November you've got 20 rooms available, instead of pushing all the 20 rooms to the OTAs, you could choose to push one by one. So what happens is the OTAs will push your listing on the ranking because you've got the last room available. You get all the last minute tagging on your listing. Once that room is sold, whoever OTA sells it pushes to the channel manager. The channel manager automatically pushes another room. At the same time, you've got your 20 rooms available on your website. So the reason behind it is that some of the customers will feel that potentially missed out on that reservation on the last room, will jump to your website to check what you've got available, and they'll see that you've got more inventory to sell, and that is a potential direct conversion that you get. Reviews. So as we've spoken before on our previous webinar, is moving forward, reviews will be very important. So on Vista, if you are a STAAH customer and if you don't have review reminder, feel free to contact us, or this is a module that can also be sold independently from the channel manager. So you can use what review reminder will help you with is you'll be able to reply to your reviews from the channel, from the same platform, from the channel manager, instead of having to go to individual extranets, the OTA extranets. Also, you'll be able to push your reviews to your website. So you always have fresh reviews from your customers, and your customers will be able to say, oh yeah, you've got good reviews on booking.com and Golden Expedia and so on. Just building more trust from your customers and showing that, look, these reviews are not only from our website, it's from different across the platforms. I'm setting a great review. You can also set limits, as in only 4+ reviews will be pushed to your website. Anything below that we'll just hide it. This is also the top channels for New Zealand and Australia, so something that I would highly recommend you guys to be connected to. As I said before, even a channel that you think you might not get a booking, still connected through it, because you're still getting the online distribution, and at the end of the day you're not paying to be online on most of the channels. So you'll be receiving a copy of those slides, so go through those channels. If there are any other channel that you can think of, feel free, and if you start customer contact us, we'll be able to map you to it if you have integration with. A quick summary. So from what I've spoken about is make sure that your website is updated when it comes down to content and term and condition. Like content also adds your photos, your facilities. Use the smart features to reduce the OTA bounce back, so you can increase your direct conversion, increase your ADR. Okay, add smart features on your website so you can convert more. Display your brand.com and OTA reviews on your website, so just to build more trust from your customers. Make sure you've got competitive rates out there on your website. Manage your inventory smartly, so you can leverage the traffic from the OTAs and target your customers with different strategies, such as mobile devices, region, multi-nights, and so on. Moving forward, the more diverse you target your customers, the better results you get. Competition will be very tough, so you make sure that you use every feature that is available on your system. So now we are open to questions if anyone has, and we'll be here a few minutes to answer those questions. And as I've said before, the recording of this webinar will be sent to all registers along with the slides. So feel free to ask any questions if you guys have. Thank you, David. Feel free to use the chat feature on your screen, so we can to ask your question, so we can answer it. So there is a question here. How do you connect? How do you get to book direct pricing? Hang on, I've got a few questions. Let me just go back one. How do you get your booking engine to Google Search Console? So if you are a STAAH customer, you can contact our support team, and they'll help you with the connection with Google. As well, again, try get in touch with our support team, and you can help you with that. There are two ways of connecting with Google, and you'll be able to go through that with you. So there are two. So you can. There is a bidding strategy on Google, which can be quite expensive, but we can go through that with you, and you can have Google as a channel.
There's a question from Elaine. What would be a flexible cancellation policy 14 days before arrival? A flexible cancellation policy can be anything where you are ready to refund the guest, refund the price, the amount of the room or your property to the guest. I guess 14 days before arrival, it completely depends upon where you are based. And I think it's property specific, so we can't really say whether it is without knowing what property you're running. So I mean, for hotels maybe in Auckland or so, we could say maybe 2 to 3 days. Maybe in more remote areas, I guess 7 days, 14 days, as you mentioned, could be pretty good, I guess.
There is another one for you, Arnold. How do we update different cancellation policies on STAAH Max?
So for STAAH Max, basically, if you need to update cancellation policies, you can. So it depends whether you're wanting to do it for one package or you wanting to do it for different packages. So if you're having one package, you can in the main section, when you click edit, you can update a cancellation policy on there. But if you have different, so if one package has different validities, you can put in, so on the last in the validity page and under your package, you can actually set up different cancellation policies on there for different date ranges. I hope that answers your question.
There's another question. Okay, thank you for the explanation. How do I avoid double bookings from Booking.com and Expedia at the same time? So technically, if you have a channel manager, you shouldn't have overbookings from two different OTAs. If you're having the issue, you might have some mapping issue. So let's have a look. Get in touch with James, having to get in touch with our support, or Arnold can get in touch with you later on, and we can just let us know obviously your property, so we can have a look at the mapping on audit to make sure that moving forward you minimize those overbookings if you're having any.
Cool.
Okay. So as per a statistic for Diana Kang, so we've seen that 70% of online bookings are coming from mobile. So on STAAH, you should be able. There is a report. If you activate your smart pricing for mobile promotions, you should be able to see how effective it is. But on an average, 70% of bookings online, regardless the channel that we talk, could be an OTA or your own website, they are coming from mobile devices.
Fiona's question is how to display OTA reviews on the hotel website. So basically, there is just a script that needs to be placed onto the website, which shows the Reviewminder application. In there, you'll be able to see Expedia, Booking.com, Hotels.com's reviews on your website itself. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, Fiona, it's a very simple script that it just needs to be embedded to your website.
Correct. Krishna's question, can I place restrictions on Watch My Rate feature? Example, I would like to not offer WMR discount on my long-term rates. So I think Watch My Rate is specifically designed in such a way that it shows the lowest rate applicable. So you can't really specify saying that you want it set up on a specific package. It is set up for all the packages that are visible on your booking engine.
There is from James K. So if I have a property on Booking.com, Expedia, and Trivago, and people book at the same time in different places, will I get double or triple bookings? Can I arrange the availability to be available on different channels to avoid double bookings? I think that's for you, Arnold.
Yeah, so I mean, if let's say you have one room available, James, and if 3 people are booking that exact same room from 3 different sites, a channel manager wouldn't be able to stop those 3 bookings, but I guess that's the time when you can use the stop sell limit, where you can actually set up saying, okay, Booking.com shuts off when I have 2 of these rooms available, Expedia shuts off when I have only 1 available. So that would avoid that whole scenario of a double booking. So that's where you can use the stop sell limit.
Okay, there's another question here. If you have a Reviewminder and you answer to the guest, can it be displayed on a booking engine so guests can see reviews and replies? So you can, so through the Reviewminder, you can answer to the reviews, but on your website, you see the reviews, not your replies.
Krishna, thanks for your answer. Currently, I have to manually update reviews. No worries. I'll provide you with, if you just email us, I can provide you with the script which you can put onto the website, and it'll be visible on your website straight away. And you can also, as Cicero mentioned previously, you can show the reviews you want and remove the reviews that you do not want to show online at the same time. How much does ReviewMinder cost? I guess that's Cicero. You probably want to know.
Yes, Adrian. So feel free to contact us. So ReviewMinder, it's not the cost is not it's not high. So feel free to chat with you all individually, and then we can give you the cost and then chat with you about your whole online distribution as well.
Is there any other questions for us?
I think that was it. Any more questions, guys? I'm happy to answer any further questions you may have. All right, so I just want to say thank you to all. Please feel free to follow us on social media and our blogs as well for further information, further tips on how to get your property always updated. Okay, and feel free to download our free ebook so you can learn more during this downtime. And we all here, on behalf of all the STAAH team, would like to wish you all the best moving forward. And if you do have any questions, regardless if you are a customer or not, feel free to contact us so we can chat with you all. So as I think that is possibly the end of our webinar. Thank you so much, everyone, again, for making the time.